Right. Oh my gosh, box of paint! Hey! So nice to see you. Hello, hello, hello! I hope you can hear and see. I don't know why, but I keep thinking of you every time I go to any place that has our like local version of white fudge. Systematically. Hope you're having an awesome week. Not really, but I don't really want to talk about it. So, yeah. I mean, I hope yours is, you know, the best it can be. But yeah. I also know that some weeks are just no bueno. I love fudge of all kinds. Oh, person after my own heart. No worries, but big hugs. Thank you. Big hugs to you as well. Let's do a reciprocal big hugs. Yeah. My social battery has just struggled. Yeah, I mean, understandably. You're doing a lot that would like deplete it. So it's sort of makes sense, even though that sucks. I'm trying to find a good swatching paper, but I think I'm like I have some here, some there, you know. Unless I want to like sacrifice to the altar of swatching. I mean, I could. I have what 12 colors to try out. I'm trying to find 12 pieces of. I could cut these in half. That would be. But we are all good. Got new back doors. Ooh! And sitting in the studio. You can see a tiny. Oh no! They move out to the shed. Let's slip that have so much paper and. Oh no. Well, you know what that means. Time to, you know, swatch things, paint things. I love the idea. So now you have your own like art shed, right? That's the thing. I mean, it sounds wonderful. Oh, so nice. Look. It fits in like just right within my small cutter. Like, ooh. Emotional pumpkin, hello. The old doors were wooden with those weird wavy glass windows. Now it's a full. Oh, dude. Oh, that's really nice for a natural light. Okay, so I'm gonna try cutting this once. Tell me how, like, if it's super unpleasant, the sound of the mini guillotine. And if it is, I'll think of something, or I'll mute the microphone for like 2 minutes while I cut all of these. I will share photos of the chaos, but it is so nice to be able to walk away from a painting. Oh man. Fine for you, okay. That's the main thing, like as an artist, like, oh, you enjoy, okay, cool. I love that song. Okay, cool. I was kind of worried that it would be like more high, but it's not a very high noise. It's kind of low. So it's not really grating, you know. But yeah, you know, when they like show us beautiful artist studios, it's always those like permanent places that they've set up. Like it's not a place that they, you know, at the start and end of the day, they, you know, have to set everything away, and then when they come in the next morning, they have to take everything out again and then take everything away. I feel like that's probably the most prohibitive part of any kind of artistic or creative endeavor. It's having to, you know, store everything away and then set everything out again. I feel like the action of putting everything away sorts of act as a, like it ends the mindset you are in for creating. So not only do you have to physically set the space every single time, you also have to get your brain into it every single time. And if you can leave the stuff out, it kind of feels more like just pressing pause and then doing other things. And then when you come back to the space where everything is still set up the way you left it, it's playing, it's like removing the pause button or something. I hope that makes sense. Mine is so loud. I wish I had a really nice vintage one. I have a vintage one, mind you, but it's it doesn't cut quite straight, and I think it could do with a bit of an oiling. I need to convince my brain fully that this is a creative space, but I'm getting there. Only struggle is figuring out the transfer. Oh. Oh. Yeah, it's a shed, so there's unless you have like a spout, like for gardening outside. And mind you, that works only in the warmer months. In the winter, the water is gonna be so freaking cold. I have passata jars, but people keep throwing out the lids. No! People, huh? Need to get one of those, you know, the ridiculously huge pickle jars. So mind you, it would be a struggle to like bring it out there full of water. It reminds me of something. So when I was living with my parents, the house we had at that time, I had a friend that lived like the not facing us, but like diagonally, like diagonal, like not the house in front, but the house next to the house in front, and the way that specific house was set up, I only realized later, but it had a really peculiar artist room in there. I might have to do a scribble. Let me grab a piece of scrap paper. Oh. Back. Paper. Perfect. Okay, okay. I'm back. Wait, isn't that called Kitty Corner? What? Okay, so let's say the friend's place, okay? So this is gonna be like the front of the house. And you would get like to the front door here. So let's pretend this is the front door. And then they had like a kind of porch. And then you would sort of have this big like living room space here. Okay, let's make it a bit smaller just for the sake of... So that was basically their living room. And I think over here, like, there's a garage. So that's garage. And that's the living room. So I hope it's gonna make sense, but basically, if you went at the far end of the living room, there was a staircase that would get you like to over the garage. And the space had been really set up to be an artist's room, because in the wall here with the living room, there was a really huge like hole, you know, like a window without glass, so that the person here could see everything like in the living room. And this space had been set up with its own sink. That's the part that kind of really stayed with me. There was a sink there. And for the longest time, I don't remember where the sink was, but pretend it's here. For the longest time, I was like, why is there a sink here? Why? And it was like a bathroom sink, not a, you know, a big metal sink or something like that. And I was, you know, wondering, because no one living in that house at that time, like my friend and her family, no one was, you know, an artist really. So this space wasn't used as an artist space at that time. But later I realized, and I was like, oh, that's why there was a sink in there. It's for the water for painting, or for like rinsing out stuff. So yeah, that's... We had the option, but it was... I mean, it is absurd work, but it, like, for them, it was already there when they moved in. Like, the previous owner of the house had set it up that way. But yeah. And it's gonna be great. All right, let's get to swatching. So the Metamorphose colors. Super excited to try these. Wow, how nice. I have my studio sharing the same space as a mini TV room in my upstairs. It was still easy to find out how to get rid of my old TV. And I use my laundry room sink for water, which is really convenient. I mean, that's good. When I was in Nipper. What's that? We had a sculptor friend who had the most amazing setup in the middle of the mountains. Ugh! No neighbors for miles. And sunlight from every... Oh, man. How did they manage that? Oh, a kiddo. Okay. I don't think I've heard that word before. The other day, YouTube recommended a short to me. and it was filmed by a guy who was walking around in New York City, and it must have been the sort of the artist area. I think, is it Soho? I don't know. I don't know a lot about New York, but yeah, and they walk up to an old man that's just stepping outside of a building, and the camera person. Yeah, I know. I remember Du Bois. Okay. And basically, the guy asks the old man, is like, "Hey, hi, do you live here?" And the guy says, "Yes, yes." And I think the what's the guy filming is people like giving little tours of their space in New York City. And long story short, I'm gonna try to summarize a bit better, but they go up the space, and it's a huge flat, and it's an artist's flat. It's an artist space. The old man is the artist, and he was telling how he bought the place like in the 70s, I think, something like that. And it's like it's huge. I don't remember the square footage or meter footage, whatever, square meter, whatever. A huge space. And back then, he bought it for like $36,000 in New York. A huge space. And the old man was telling how when he was, looking to find a space as an artist back then, the landlords in the area were walking around like completely at a loss for how they would make these buildings, a good investment for them. And then you fast forward, what, 50 years? I mean, good luck finding anything you can buy for $36,000. I think cars are even pricier than that now. Ah! So yeah, I mean, wow. What a different time it was. Yeah. Yeah. 36,000. 36K. The artist dude, the old man, also lived there. Like a space of the flat was set up as a living space, but yeah. I was just swatching these paints this morning to make a swatch card for inclusion in the palette, and made sure to wet the square first to bring out the granulation. Oh yeah. You either have to like pre-wet an area or just dump a lot of water in it. We lived in London and I have no idea how people afford it now. Oh, it's a lot more pink on camera than it is in person. In person, you can really tell that this is like blue and purple. And not blue, yellow and purple. Blue? We lived in London. Same for New York. Like recently with the mayoral elections, there was a lot of talk about like the rent in New York, and there's a lot of content on YouTube, like people showing off like absurd apartments in New York that are basically just a wardrobe. Like you don't pay a lot, but you have space for a bed, and that's about it. Otherwise, it's like 5K a month. The cold violet is really delicate, and I agree, it is beautiful. Rent in our city when we moved here, you could get a flat for... Oh, ouch. Ouch. It has gotten a lot pricier here as well, in Montreal. And yeah, I'm not even anywhere fancy either. I'm borderline suburbia, almost suburbia. and it's still very, very expensive. Since you've seen both box of paint, do you have any particular thoughts on um, like the housing market in the US and in the UK? I know it's got to be like incredibly different, but I'm just wondering if you've noticed anything peculiar. Like something you'd perhaps did not expect. I live in a really expensive area, and when I first moved here, it was shocking. Now it's all monopoly money. My rent is like 2 blues and a green. I don't even know what it means anymore. Aside from the you know, the maths of figuring out if it's affordable still or not. At home, my first flat was 400 square feet and $400 a month. Years ago, when I went home, they were selling 34. These tiny what? Houses that were tiny ass houses that were 400 square. Oh, jeez, Louise, what? 500K. What happened? What happened? How did we get here? Like when my parents separated, my mom bought a house in an area that was freshly developed. So the house was freshly built, and she paid 90K for it. And I think now it's worth easily almost 4 times that. And it's just the same place. Like it hasn't been like reworked in a drastic way or anything. And marketing, but even then, like inflation, fine if everything followed, but not everything like inflates evenly. Even out in the country where my family are from, the land was so affordable when we looked. There is no way we could afford even a plot now. Whoa. Dang. But that's morning broom. It is really pretty. Basically morning fog. That's what it means. Or mist. I really like the kind of yellow color they went for with the PY42. It's really nice. Put that over there. They only got not satellite internet last year, so I mean, oh gee. The inflation rate of salaries never seem to keep up with prices, of course not. Paint on camera looks like there are milky patches. It's very pretty. I want to see what you mean by the milky patches. For some reason, my live is very delayed. But anyway, okay, I'll just... I'm now completely unable to see Brum without putting on an ostentatious... Oh no! Is it because of me? No. Hello, happy... Jill, happy Thanksgiving to you as well. We've already had our Thanksgiving here in Canada, so... Happy Turkey Day. Who's eating turkey today? Wait, hold on. Next one. That's evening Brum. That has the cobalt violet, then PBR33. And PO73, I think. Well, your accent is neither ostentatious nor fake. But that's all I'm capable of. Let's go. I mean, that's sort of their fault for calling it that, using Brum instead of... You know, the thing that happened is that they used mist for a lot of their regular quote-unquote granulating mixes. So when they came to this Metamorphose kind of set, well, they couldn't use mist because they've already used mist, you know. So they went with the French word for it. Yeah, sure, very different, guys. My husband is doing all the cooking today, which I'm eternally thankful for. Hey, that's the proper mood for today, right? Man, these colors are really nice, I gotta say. That says lovely to hubby cooking in the paint color. Isn't it? Oh, it's so nice. This one I feel needs an especially large amount of water, so the B14 is more visible. Would track because you have two granulating pigments in here, so they're kind of you know, fighting for the spotlight a little bit. BBR33 is a really, really beautiful. I think it's what's in the Aquarius brown color. Sick. No, that's BR11. Wrong one. I don't know what it is then, but it's beautiful, so... That's zooming across the water. Yep, yep, that's a good one. PPR33 is in Schmincke's Mahogany Brown. Oh, hold on, I might have that one. Oh, shoot. I thought I had swatch sheet for these, but I do. Oh, well. My French. Do you guys have the IKEA flat file, like the Alex unit? I kind of hate how everything moves in there. Like I never like slam the drawers. I never use like excessive momentum when closing or opening them. And I've even put some sort of plastic liner at the bottom so that things would have a bit more grip. But still, everything always ends up like squished at the far end of the drawer. Is it good? 50%. Like, if you plan on putting lightweight items in it, it might work out fine. If you use some sort of separators in there or like containers to organize stuff, it would probably work even better. But if you use it for heavy stuff and you don't have separators, it's not fun. The bottom of the drawers is a relatively thin piece of particle board. And if you put too much heavy stuff, have one drawer where the like the particle board is supposed to fit into a divot. Like you slide it in the rest of the drawer. There's a little gap in the pieces on the side and at the bottom so that you can slot the particle board in there. And it's held in place this way. But if you put too much heavy stuff, it's gonna bend and jump out of its position. And then it's gonna be annoying because it's gonna rub on everything and stuff can fall down and yeah, like a notch. Yeah. So yeah, they're a nice compact unit at a decent price, but you cannot really use it for heavy duty stuff, I say. Forgot to label this one properly. I'm pretty sure it's Forest Room of ultramarine blue, titanium brown, and PY 110. Are the Rose Bohem Dream Mystery? Yep, pretty much. You clocked it. And here I have two of their newer sparkly shimmer colors too. I might swatch these when I'm done. The only issue with these is that, you know, sparkly paints are like basically glitter, and as such, if you work with sparkly paint, it's everywhere after that. So it's gotta be the very last thing that I swatch if I want to swatch them. I really like this one. It is subtle but gorgeous. Yeah, I'm really excited to see it like in person. It doesn't have any green in it, so truly the look of it is just the ultramarine blue and the two yellow pigments. Oh, from the Four Seasons? I don't know. I don't know. I saw them on Arte Miranda and I was like, oh. They're like twice the price of a regular White Night paint, so I had to be selective a little bit. I only got to try them out. He released a series of shimmer paints in season. Oh, that might be it. I think one is named Orange Shimmer, and the other one is Green Glow. But they were not presented as like seasonal sets on the website I got them from, so. Some of them have like straight up glitter, other with the more subtle mica. That's the abbreviation that for the life of me I can never remember. And every time someone tells me what it is, I'm like, oh yeah, that's true. And I commit, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna commit it to memory, and then it's gone again. But yeah, I was trying to find other swatches of those shimmer colors, and it was really slim pickings out there, if I recall correctly. Thank you. I don't know why, but mind you, my mind goes to like something similar, like if I remember right or something. At least I don't mix it up for something completely unrelated. I can't remember it either. PW20, that's usually the code from Mica. IRC takes over and I hear a typewriter in my You know, I see IIRC and it reminds me like of, like you say, IRC or MIRC. If you remember that one. very old chat client from ages ago. That's really beautiful. You have the really subtle like play of granulation in it. Would be a beautiful color to paint the forest indeed. Oh, no. The code for mica, that's PW20, but it's like regardless of what color the mica is, that's always the same code. So it's not super informative. Right, the Naples yellow. Yeah, it is. And the ultramarine blue, like they're both really subtle, and then the PY110 is super glowy. So when you put like a lot of water, you have this sort of glowing color. Man, paint is the best. Paint is the best. Last one. I've already swatched it, but I'm gonna do it again. Mountain Broom. It's like a sappy CG. Yeah, yep. Yeah, I agree. Like if you don't put too much water and you dilute it, you get more of the sage color, or even if it's super diluted. It reminds me a bit of the, you know, I swatched the sap green from Aquafine not too long ago. I think that's the one. And I was curious to make a big wet wash with it because it has ultramarine blue in it. But it's still like insanely more vibrant. I much prefer the Forest Brume color. Forest Brume is one of the standouts in this set. I mean, so far they're all pretty striking, but I would say that it looks like one of the colors that would be the easiest to use. The second swatch, the other green, was, I think, if I remember right, because I didn't label it at the time, but it's the sap green from the Aquafine range. This one doesn't look like much until you get it to separate. I thought it was going to be a green. Yeah, it is more of a brown. the Mountain Brume one, but so you have PB28 in it, so that's a cobalt color. I think you can have it both blue or like teal. So one of these. Then PR102, which is a variant in the red iron oxide range. And then two colors that are pretty solid in their hue. So PBR29, which is, I think it is like chromium iron oxide. And then PBR25, which is a transparent reddish brown. This one is interesting because the granulation can look like PG17, but that's not even in the mix. No, it's not. I'm not sure where they get the green from, but it's gotta be the PB28. Perhaps they went for more like a teal kind of color. And then when it's mixed in with the rest, or perhaps a cobalt turquoise kind of color. I don't remember what's the pigment code for cobalt turquoise. But it is so interesting when it starts separating because you have like this drastic difference between the colors involved. Like this reddish orange and then the green. And then when they mix a bit more, it becomes brown. I think that's really cool. That's a thought that I had like in a previous live stream, if you guys perhaps remember, but I was like, you know what? I think watercolor is just about the only medium, the only paint that you just put it in like its base, quote unquote, like you put it in water and stuff happens. Like oil, I don't think has that property of, you know, that random quality to it, if I can say that. And acrylic doesn't either. And I'm trying to think of other mediums. Like there's hardly any that have this liveliness that you find in watercolor. And in watercolor, it's really just about letting the paint do its thing. And I've never seen that happen in any other kind of medium. Like, I think you could perhaps have it with acrylic if you used it like watercolor, but at that point, like, it's the same. Not sure I'd use it, but would definitely drop it over and over into puddle. It's the kind of color that you can paint something with just that color, you know? Depending on the manufacturer, I've seen both in paints. Same cobalt turquoise. Okay, so yeah, so that could be why it's like this greenish sort of viridian kind of color. It's because they went for a PB28 that's definitely more green than blue. It makes it fun literally watching paint dry. Seriously, and I think that's the only paint that really does that. It reminds me of the kind of color palette that you have in the older storybook, mostly from Eastern Europe. There's a lot of like brown and like orange and then green. Very limited palettes. Mossy trees, yes. That kind of, you know, with lichen. Lichen? But like you paint something with it and that's it. It already looks good. And the paint did all the heavy lifting. You know, I cannot fathom that people would say that watercolor is not a legit medium. And they would snob it. Like, pfft. Yeah, okay. This one, I really like this one. Because you have like a very drastic color change, but not a very drastic texture change. Whereas here you have like this cauliflower kind of edge to it. Oh man, definitely the best thing ever. And that's all the Brum colors. So I'm gonna move on to the Dream colors, which are sort of a bit more vibrant. I think if I have to choose, I would say that the Brum, the 4 colors in the Brum section are probably my favorite, but I think I'm gonna like all of them. I know the DS Primatech has issues, but painting doodles of my brindle dog was never... Seriously. But it was one of those colors. Those one colors for one thing in my palette. Yeah. And, I mean, whatever we may say, the issue with Daniel Smith is not in the paints themselves. The paints are really, really good. And I was looking at the, I don't know if you guys saw them. I keep meaning to make a video about it, but there's always something else that pops up. But they released like triads, which is basically just trios of colors. And they have specific themes and then a specific color selection. And at first I was a bit unimpressed. It's the transparency. Oh my gosh, that's brilliant. Oh, that is such a good watercolor joke. That's so witty. Oh, I gotta write it somewhere. Where's my stupid doodle paper? You know how the only way it could be funnier is if their paint was uncharacteristically opaque, but it's still perfect. Oh my gosh, I have to put that in a video someplace if you don't mind me using that. But yeah, in the triads there is one that I'm a bit obsessed about, and I hate that I'm obsessed about it, but at the same time, I will do a video about it. I think I will do my whole video differently. Instead of one big video with segments, I might do each segment separately, but anyway. So yeah, it's the Stormbreaker range triad. So basically what's in it? You have a Bloodstone Genuine. So it's kind of a granulating reddish dark brown. Then you have Prussian Blue. So this deep, just a little bit green kind of blue. And then they've put also the Iridescent Electric Blue in there. And at first I was like, what? But then on their website, they have there's 8 of them, 8 triads. And with some of them, they've gone the extra length of painting swatches of the mixes available. And that's what sold me quite a few of these color combinations, because I was really like just but oh my gosh, the Stormbreaker colors, they create like striking effects, and I'm kind of pissed. I'm kind of mad, but at the same time, like they have one that's like the architecture one is like buff titanium, like Van Dyke brown and ultramarine violet. That's nothing that you couldn't find anywhere else, you know. But the stupid Stormbreaker set, no one else really has a dupe for the Iridescent Electric Blue, and no one has a dupe for the Bloodstone. And I kind of hate it. I'm angry at it because I'm like, oh no, why is it so good? And then the Autumn one is really nice. It has Aussie Red Gold, Undersea Green, and I can't remember which one, but it's something like Rose of Ultramarine or Imperial Violet. I think it's Rose of Ultramarine. And it looks a bit overwhelming just like that, but the mixes are very pretty. Though I do think I still have like some of those paints, so I will dig them up and swatch them together. That I can do, but for the Stormbreaker one, it's just like nagging me. just in the back of my head being like, hey, hello, yoo-hoo. You know what? You know what's very pretty? But also makes you very mad? Oh, that's a lot more muted than I thought it was gonna be. But I'm not mad at it. I think it's beautiful. Oh, that's nice. Such a classy color. Oh my gosh. It does look like a pretty set. It does. It does. The YouTuber I followed did the series on all the triads and I wasn't sure I liked all of them, but I like the combo of the architectural and autumn set. The paints were very harmonious. Stormbreaker also was a surprise. Same! I expected to be mad at it because I was like, are you kidding me? Like a sparkly paint, well, it's not very sparkly, it's a shimmery paint, and then Prussian blue, and then Bloodstone, like 2 blues and a brown. And then I saw the swatches and I was like, oh no! Oh no, I like it! Oh no! Oh no! I really like it. So there's 8 in all. They have 4 seasons, and then there's another 4 that have different themes. So I think summer and spring are the one that I'm kind of very, very meh about, because I get a feeling that the spring color should have been summer and something else should have been spring, because basically what they put for color for spring is a cobalt teal, opera, and a yellow. And then for summer, they put like a different, a magenta, a different yellow, and a kind of a phthalo turquoise kind of color. So it's very, very similar. And like if you end up buying both, they don't really give you options. The autumn set, like I said, is the Aussie Red Gold, Undersea Green, and Rose of Ultramarine. And then the winter set is, I think it's something like a granulating blue, like cobalt blue, Viridian, and then Mars Black, or Lunar Black, they call it. So I'm not entirely sold on the seasonal sets. I feel like the autumn one is decent, but the other 3, I'm a bit like, eh. Like, not that it's a bad color selection, but why these colors for that season? That's the part that trips me. And then you have the architecture one, which is the buff titanium, ultramarine violet, and I think it is something like Van Dyke brown or sepia. Could be sepia. And it is, you know, it is quite nice, though I don't see why it is architecture truly. It doesn't look particularly. Lunar Black, French Ultramarine, Cascade Green. Oh, sorry. I'm off. I remember that it was a blue and a green, but really missed the mark on which ones. Like, it is a nice mix. You can get some really interesting colors in there, especially with the Cascade Green, and it's the way it separates. But winter? I mean, okay. Eh. Then you have the Stormbreaker one. There is one that is like a kind of a yellow ochre color, like a reddish brown transparent color, and a turquoise kind of color, I think. Something like the desert landscape or something. And then there's an 8th one, and I can't remember what it is. What is it? What is it? What is it? Evening Glow. Which one is that? The choices for architectural seem pretty ho-hum, but they look really nice together. Yeah, you couldn't see on their website the swatches they made mixing these like I can see how it would be interesting to paint with them, you know. Aside from a few of the 8 triads, it really feels more like a kind of a cash grab, which is not very surprising. But I would love to know who came up with the Stormbreaker mix. I'm gonna learn that it's Cogly, and my brain is gonna like hit a blue screen or something. Hit the 404. New Gamboge, Manganese Blue, and Shadow Violet. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. On brand, just a little bit. You know what kind of vibe I get from Daniel Smith as a whole? Not as a whole. That's not true. As a like the way they market themselves publicly, the way like their public persona, front, whatever. They remind me of the the kind of person that always shows up with the latest thing or the more expensive thing and the fancier thing. And oh, the teacher recommended that you get a couple of markers, like alcohol markers for sketches. Well, that person shows up with the whole range, you know. And then later you find out that they were putting all that on credit. It's kind of the vibe I get. Oh, speaking of, I think one of these Dream or Mystery Paint has actual manganese blue, but the text on them is really small. I don't think so because it's you cannot really get it. So one is PV14, PB28, and the other is PV14, PB36, and PG7. And the last one, the green, doesn't have anything that would be. Daniel Smith, the Balenciaga of color, of watercolor? Pretentious. Oh man. All those big brands. You know how, okay, you might not agree with me, but it's something that I've always sort of felt. By the way, this is beautiful. But you know how, like, Gucci? First of all, the name. Okay. But the colors are like tan, green, and red. And I've always felt like that's not a nice combo. Like that doesn't look all that great together. Blue Dream. PV14 I saw, and PB28. I'm bummed that the OG Daniel Smith person, Mr. Daniel Smith, is I don't think he's with us any longer, and I'm kind of bummed because I would have loved to have a chat with him. Like, what's your mindset about art supplies? What do you like about watercolor? Like, I could probably find some of that if I looked a bit harder. But you know, all this stuff of like, what was the vision? What was the passion? Before it became like purely a marketing or a business thing. I'm really loving this PO73 in the WhiteNights and leading paints. When I saw your video the other week with Sunset Mist, I had like these full pans from WhiteNights are still about like $4 each. The issue is not the price point, is like sourcing them. And it's not like they use shortcuts either. Like they use cobalt pigments, like granulating pigments. No dyes. It's the quote unquote real thing. And they don't like charge you an insane price for it. Unlike other brands we won't name. That's beautiful. Have I said anything different? I think I must have said that for every color. I really like the way it splits. But then if you use it with less water, it still has texture, but it's not as split. This one is Mint Dream. I love how unassuming this one looks. Hey, Auntie Patience! Hello! Hello, hello! On the way to the kitchen for a snack. What snack are you getting? One of the prettiest colors I ever made was a collection of 4 cobalt colors that didn't fit in. Oh, do you still have swatches of that? Oh, color me intrigued. I say it every single time, but Box of Paint, some of your handmade colors are still like in my top 3. Truly, truly, you truly did some magic there. It's a bit of a pain that paint making is such a overall consuming hobby or work. You need space, you need the resources, and you never know if you're going to be able to get the same resource twice. But oh my gosh, can you make some interesting stuff with that? I do indeed. It was blue teal. Oh, oh, that sounds really lovely. Hey, anti-patients, bring me a snack too. When I make lunches just for myself on the days of the week that Mr. E is physically at work, they're always so low effort. One of my go-to is like a toast and carrots. Because you can easily like toast the bread even if it's frozen, and then carrots are good at this time of the year, so. And I'm like, yay, low dishes to clean, doesn't take a lot of time to prepare. It's, you know, it's good. I enjoy it. I'm not bothered by it. And I could do so much worse. Oh, I love this. Ah, pretty color. These also have pretty good. Yes, yeah, they do. They have it in a really pleasant way. I feel like where the color spreads out, but then it evens out. And I love that. Like you don't end up with streaks or whatnot. It's just this beautiful hazy color. Everywhere has this cinnamon knits this year, and they are like flattened croissants that have been smashed. Oh, oh, that sounds good. Oh, nuts. Okay. Flattened croissant. You know, I don't know if you've had almond croissant, but remind me of the pigments in this. PV14, PB36. So that one is a bit trickier because PB36 can be different, like hue, and then PG7. Again, it looks a bit more saturated on screen. In person, it's definitely a bit more like the turquoise component and then the purple granulation. Keep eating the, oh man. Ah, cinnamon. But yeah, the almond croissant. So it's basically like the regular plain croissant, but they cut it in half. And in it, they put what they call like almond cream, which is a preparation that is almond flour, butter, and sugar, and maybe egg. And I think they might like cook them again just briefly. But as a result of this, they end up always being very flat and dense. So that's kind of what your cinnamon knots remind me of. Croissant are amazing. Oh, they are. One of my favorite viennoiserie. We also have a variant here that is in the almond like cream they add a bit of pistachio. It is also very, very good. That's gotta be Green Dream. G50, PY3, and PBR24. God, I miss flaky pastry. Seriously. I am very, very grateful that I can still enjoy gluten. I'm fully aware that it could be taken away from me at any moment. Ah, this one is also so good. That is such a like a usable green. Like it's so good as is. You don't have to mute it particularly. Oh, it's love it. Ow. I have some serious French-inspired bakeries around here, and my favorite has a thing called a blackberry pistachio twice-baked croissant in the same vein, and it is exactly as amazing as it sounds. It sounds epic. Gluten-free and dairy-free pastries crumble in. Yeah, I feel like dairy-free you can still kind of get away with it. You can still have some sort of flakiness that still works, but gluten-free, that's hard. That's really, really a tough bar to pass. Pastry is one of the few types of breads I've been allowed, and I've been. I mean, I think it's a good idea because it's something like enjoyable, that can provide you like quick energy, and also it's good food for the soul. And also pastry is amazing. Oh my gosh. I'm pissed that I like even if I cannot have dairy, I can have butter, so that's the saving grace of it. But there's a lot of viennoiserie or pastries that still have a lot of actual like dairy protein in them, often in the form of cream. And yeah, that's not fun. But usually I can still do the croissant like decently well. And there's others that are usually okay, like apple turnovers. So mind you, I kind of hate quote unquote the turnovers they have at my local bakery place because they put zero cinnamon in it, like zero, like not even a hint of cinnamon. And while I understand that not everyone likes cinnamon, uh, we're still missing the mark here. If you're gonna offer me apple turnovers and you really want to make them cinnamon free, you gotta make two. You gotta make a variant that has cinnamon and a variant that doesn't. Because it's just a crime. It's a crime against good pastries, against viennoiserie. Like you cannot have freaking apple turnover and have zero cinnamon in it. And like no seasoning. Like it's not even like they did the thing where they went like, oh, we're gonna have cardamom instead. We're so posh. No. They just like apple. There you go. And I'm like, yeah, but it lacks the depth of the spices. Everyone eat all the croissant for me. Will do. I will dedicate a croissant to you next time I eat croissant, Jill. The yellows in this one is surprisingly delicate. I would have worried the PY3 would overpower. PY3 is a strong yellow, but it's not as overpowering as that. The PY150, that's the very overpowering one. But I feel like this one, the PY3 in this case, is evenly matched with the other colors when you keep it all mixed together. But then when you put it in a wash or in water, and that the yellow spreads out a bit more, that's when you get that glow. It looks more like a glow in the color rather than the yellow coming to get you, you know? That's funny. From the product photos I saw online of this color, I was a bit worried that it would be too intense, like too bright, too neon, too unusable. But this is perfectly fine. Like, this reminds me of you know, summer in the forest when it's hot and bright. And you have all this vibrant green around you, but it's also really warm. So the yellow kind of accomplishes that feeling of warmth. And then the color is pretty much spot on. The apple pie filling we get over here as 0 spices added, so you have to make it good yourself. Okay, I'm partly not surprised, but also really outraged, offended, unacceptable. Oh my gosh. I'm the kind of person that adds a full teaspoon of cinnamon in my morning oatmeal. Or half a teaspoon? Like an unreasonable amount of cinnamon for the amount of oatmeal that's in my cup, you know? I cannot fathom having some sort of baked apple thing without cinnamon. It's just chunky applesauce. Oh, does it also have like the gelatinous kind of meh with it? I am so eloquent today. Red mystery. I am to be congratulated. I have finally created a palette without writing down what went into it, and it wasn't big enough to label. Hold on, what? Hold on. So that's PBK 11. PBK 111. PBK 28. And something red. PR 254. I don't think I understand what you mean, Jill. Oh, I feel a tiny travel palette and it's a total mystery. Oh no! I agree that they end up being awesome generally, though. But oh yeah. Oh my gosh, that's dark. Wow, I did not expect that. Dang. Not kidding. Man, it's almost too dark. Are we gonna see anything? Oh, Curious, hi. Hello, hello. It'll be fine. It's only hate. Oh, that. I mean, you know what kind of paints you have, so it's not like someone sent you a random surprise selection of paints. You'll be surprised every time you paint with it. I love my big mystery palette and grateful it's watercolor because it will take forever to use up before trying to reveal future me problems. My phone seems to be paired with an unknown Bluetooth speaker, so I can't actually hear you, but hope you did. Oh no! who's having to hear me right now? Like, who's this person who won't shut up? This is another surprise when it really looks like there's... Yeah, definitely. And I didn't expect it to be this dark at the milestone. It is like something's happening, but whoa. I have a wireless speaker with my computer, and I don't usually use Siri, but occasionally I will be talking, and the Bluetooth speaker will start like talking, and I'm like, no one asked you, and it's gonna be like, sorry, I didn't hear what song you wanted, but here is and I'm like, shut up. How do I turn off the thing that I didn't like boot up? It booted up on its own. Is there a naphthol red or maroon in this one? Yeah. It has PR254 in it. I don't think... I think naphthol is PR170 or 71 or whatever. Siri likes to... Yeah, seriously. But mine is not even... I didn't even set it up. Like, it's supposed to be off. It's not supposed to surprise me like that. It's baffling how when it's freshly painted, it really looks like a uniform dark red kind of color. But then when it starts separating, it's like, oh no, wait. I have more to show you. Look. And like, oh, okay. I'm here for it. Surprise me. Red mystery. Now, these four colors that are the mystery sort of subsection are the ones that I was sort of the least excited about. They're all exciting, but even then, just because they use PBK 11 in it. And it's kind of a, I feel like it's a cheat. Because anything you put PBK 11 in it is going to get granulation. Whatever it is. So it's kind of not something that I consider particularly original usually, but I gotta say, this one, with the added PBK 28 and the red, there's really a little something extra that happens here that makes it a bit more interesting in my opinion. Well, I can't blame her. All I ask her to do is play music and set timers. It's gonna be boring. I kind of like aborting, to be honest. I don't know if it's a word that has a meaning, but it's... I was swearing a lot in a conversation one night, and Alexa started reading me a list of church service. Oh, the shade. Oh my gosh. It's so funny. Might want to visit the church. No. And I mean, unless I'm mistaken, a lot of your American swear words, or I don't know, perhaps British swear words, they don't use a lot of church paraphernalia vocabulary. Over here, I could understand that happening because most of the French Canadian swear words are all derived from church stuff. So that's green mystery. So I could imagine that it's thinking that I'm looking for a church or something. I missed. Oh, it's I don't think the paper is all that important, but I was looking for some sort of paper that I could swatch on that I had enough paper for 12 colors, and all I found was this one. So that's the paper I'm swatching on. It's not amazing paper, but it's definitely serviceable. Okay, PG 26, PBR 33, and what's the... I think it's PB 16, right? Yeah. Oh, I love it. This is already so good. It's a, you know what? It reminds me a bit of Cascade Green. Fascinating. Is there a way you can give us an example? I mean, I can swear in Canadian French. I don't think any of you is going to get offended because I don't think, first of all, it's not particularly offensive unless you're very, very religious. You're very, very Christian. And then it's kind of moot. Like, I don't think you're going to like get mad at the language itself. But okay, so I mean, one we have is Chris. It's usually written Criss or Crisse, and you can probably infer what it's referring to in terms of its actual like religious analog. Then we have tabernacle, hostie. That's the it's the wafer, communion wafer. Chalice, which is probably would be chalice in English. And we have a bunch of other ones that I don't necessarily have the equivalent word for the, because I was raised like atheist, so I don't have a lot of knowledge about church stuff. But yeah, so we have hostie, calice, tabernacle, Chris, ciboire. And then you have a bunch of like derivative too. Like sometimes when like my grandfather's generation, they wanted to swear anyway, but they didn't want to be rude or disrespectful to the church, so they would sort of tweak the swear word just a little bit. Like instead of saying something like tabarnak, they would say tabarnouche. You know, that kind of, it's like saying fudge instead of the other word, you know. I was wondering whether said swearing featured a lot of taking the Lord's name in vain. I mean, somewhat. But I think the most fun feature, the most interesting, or one of the most interesting features of the French Canadian swear words is that you can chain them together endlessly. And usually it's also peppered with other additions in there, like we use bâtard a lot, which is bastard. We use also like a bunch of insults. Oh, okay, sorry. Oh, sorry. Oh, sorry. But what does tabarnak? We write it Tabarnak, and it refers to a tabernacle, which is some sort of instrument of the church. Like, as a swear word, it doesn't mean anything, really. It just serves the purpose of letting you be angry at stuff and voice your anger. But yeah, basically you can like chain them up, like I bet like if you were adding like of in between each swear word. And it's really hard to explain, but we can definitely do it. Like it might look like a sentence, but it's actually just a string of swear words attached together. It kind of cracks me up all the time. I'm finding this info about French Canadian swearing quite entertaining. But yeah, it is quite unlike the other stuff we have here. Like we're really exposed to American culture, and definitely the way swearing works is differently. And even in France, they don't have all this vocabulary that's derived of church stuff. Did I miss a crazy algorithm censoring? No, so far it's been good. Oh, potato soup and cornbread, yummy. Wow, for the religious things, I think we only have the Christ or Jesus Christ. Yeah, but then you use like the real word for it. We don't swear in Canadian French by saying Christ. We say Chris. Like it's everything has been mangled through the local dialect, you know. So it's a bit difficult to fully say like, oh, you're taking the Lord's name in vain, because it's like, well, am I really, or is it this other guy, you know, that has a similar name, you know, that kind of stuff. I enjoy swearing more than most, but in my old age I am finding joy in overly mild language. Yep, same. Like, it's not gonna translate over well, but one of my favorite sort of insults is to call someone a bath cap. And it sounds kind of silly like that, but there's something really satisfying about saying that someone is a crise de casse de bain in Canadian French. And like, if you were to say to someone, hey, le casse de bain, it's a bit like you feel you should be offended by the tone and the context of the way the person is using it, but on itself, you can't really be offended by that. Like, there's nothing to be offended about. So it really cracks me up. Oh, I see what you mean. That's so interesting. It's not swearing, but I could only say Jeebus. It's the same kind of energy, yeah. All right, decking back out for now. Have fun as well. Thank you so much for stopping by, Curious. It's getting increasingly difficult to connect. I like calling a particular type of person a tool bag. Yeah, it's like someone like hears you calling them a tool bag. What are they gonna do? It works out really well because it's like if you get mad over me calling you a tool bag, well, that's on you. This one is PV16, PV29, and PG7. My very French Canadian grandfather on my dad's side. One of his I can't really call it a swearing or whatever, but one of his expression was to say soda soda, and it kind of stayed with me. Kind of a way to expletive without expletives, really. Or instead of saying bâtard, bastard, like bâtard, we have a word. The word for boat in French is bateau. So often people would say bateau instead of bâtard. I'm glad that so far there seems to be only 2 colors in the mystery ones that have the PBK11 that I was kind of being a bit apprehensive about. So yep, that was the French Canadian lesson with Eve today. It's truly its own dialect of French. Like if I go to France and I try to speak like French Canadian with a French person, we're still gonna struggle a bit, even though we technically speak the same language. You have the same thing in English, right? So yeah. Thanks for a fun stream. I gotta go scare up some lunch. These paints are well. Thank you so much for being here, Jill. I have one other to swatch after that, and I'm gonna be done. So for once, that the content I'm doing during the stream seems well timed. I've been ostriching lately on color theory and just came across some other colors theory, and it's fascinating. It is really, really interesting. It's basically when you use one color and you mix it into all your colors, I think. And it's as a way of unifying everything or giving everything the same kind of feel or vibe. It's a bit like using colored paper, you know? I gotta say, all of these so far, the swatch that I'm the most appreciative of is always the one where I wet the paper first and then dump some paint in there and then extra water. Systematically, it's one of the swatches that brings out the most character out of the paint. Like mystery. Oh. BB29 BK11 and PBR25. It's where one color is added to every color in the painting to try to bring harmony to the palette. Okay, yeah. I'm going to have to try that out. I was always wondering what Joyce's mother Violet was. Like, who is Joyce's mother and why? She also has Joyce's mother Green. She has two moms. One is named Violet and the other is named Green. Also, I've read it's used to tie in mood, as in a warm mother color in a sunrise. Yeah. It's sort of a way to kind of work within a limited palette that you figure out beforehand. Like you could paint a sunset. Sorry, a sunset. Yeah, you say sunrise, but generally the sunset is warmer than the sunrise. The sunrise tends to be a bit more cool and a bit more light, and then the sunrise is the one that's more warm and vibrant, usually. But anyway, yeah, if you sort of plan your painting beforehand, you could select all colors that lean warm, quote unquote. So you wouldn't necessarily need a mother color to warm up everything. But you could also try to use colors and then systematically warm all of them with the same color to varying degrees. Googling to find out who Joyce is. Have them both and they're lovely, but each also have a lot of pigments. Nope. Okay. So the number of pigments in a paint is not important. It has no relevance to mixing. What has relevance to mixing is the characteristics of the pigments, not the number. You could mix 20 transparent colors together and it will still be fine because they're all transparent. You would end up probably with a transparent kind of black color or something, you know. 20 colors is a lot to make, so you would end up with a kind of a weird neutral that is transparent. It's problematic in mixes when you combine different characteristics, like transparent colors and opaque colors in the same mix. That's when you can encounter stuff that you're not expecting. But also, there's really nothing in a mix that will cause an effect that you cannot predict. that make sense? There's never going to be like a surprise when you mix pigments together. Everything that happens in your mixes is stuff that you can figure out beforehand. Does that make sense? I really don't like this notion that oh, the more pigment, the muddier the color. First of all, muddy colors, it's and then it's not the number of colors, it's what kind of colors you mix together. That's when you might have issues. If you mix two colors and the result is more muted than you expected, that's not because there was some sort of hidden pigment in there that decided that, ha ha ha, when you mix me with that other color, I become muddy. You know, that's not how that works. It's pretty much what you see is what you get. So you just gotta pay attention to what you see to be able to figure out what you get. I do remember that, but that was a holdover from my earlier, more ignorant phrase. Okay, good. Good. Yeah, I'm kind of taking a more anything goes kind of approach these days, and it works pretty well. Yeah, if you want to avoid mixing muted colors, yeah, it's about being careful mixing the leaning of colors, like you say, warm and cool or complements. That's when the color is going to be muted. Or if you mix like a PBR24 Naples yellow, that's usually very opaque, with a transparent like indanthrone blue, and then you end up with a semi-opaque green, well, that's because you used an opaque pigment in the mix. So my obsession with single pigment paints can... Oh, absolutely. Dude. You can let it rip. Like, if someone as a painter has a style that's a lot about layering and building up color with multiple layers, then it's to their interest to have a lot of single pigment transparent paints that are also staining, usually. So it's easier for them to work with their method, but that's not the only way to work this up. And you could have, like if you mix indanthrone blue and nickel azo yellow, transparent yellow and transparent blue, you still get a transparent green. Where's the problem? Sorry, it's a pet peeve. Well, if I appear to be unjustifiably annoyed, it's just because it's something that grinds my gear in general. I mean, the convenience colors from a lot of paint makers are so nice. We were talking about how the Holbein ones are particularly... Yeah. But like Holbein, depending on the convenience colors, they might use more opaque pigments in them. Like all of their slightly... like their tints. Verditer blue, lilac, lavender, all the composed greens, Naples yellow, shell pink, you know, all of that, they have white in them. So of course they're going to be a bit more on the opaque side because they have white in them. But that's the thing with watercolor too. Say you really want a very light peachy color, a corally color, but that is also transparent. You can look to your transparent red or oranges and see if any of them, when you dilute it, is that kind of color. With watercolor, you have access to such a range of values and hues, and you don't need like white. You don't need to go to some unknown depths with the color. You just need to add a bit of water in it, and you might be able to get the color you wanted without having to, you know, figure out how to mix it. Like, we have a whole range of colors that are available to us because our medium of choice works with water. Does that make sense, or am I just rambling? Bit of both. A little from column A, a little from column B. I was just going to say, also, why does everyone hate on mixing white in? I guess I get why people who like layering might not, but it really depends on what you want. I don't particularly like mixing white in my colors because of the way I usually do illustrations. I have line work, and I usually ink my line work beforehand, and then if I use those tints over my line work, it's not always very like good. But it's up to you. If you like to use white when painting, I mean, go ahead. There's got to be a use for that color, right? Yeah, the Kuretake Art Nouveau set is also very tints and very like semi-opaque in general. It's not good or bad, it's just a matter of what you like to paint with and what you want to achieve in your painting. Speaking of single pigment paints, does anyone know if My Mary Blue is stopping production? Bromley's had a huge sale on them last month and said they were discontinuing. Oh, that's probably that. I think it's just Bromley not carrying them anymore. I haven't seen any warning signs that it would be like removed or it would disappear. I'll check. I don't think I have a lot of sources for My Mary Blue. But yeah, it might just be Bromley not carrying them. With Bromley's in the UK, so I don't know if the stuff with the Brexit and the all the tariffs and whatnot, if there's not a part of it that makes it a bit more difficult for them to work this out. It's a very it's the most muted color of the set, I think. But again, I feel like what's happening here is kind of my favorite outcome for this color. Still seem to be available from other stores I shop at. Have you checked from... I always check Jackson's as a reference point because it's big, and then you can also check Arte Miranda if they usually have it. I'm gonna take a few minutes just to swatch the shimmery colors because I'm very curious about them. And since I am done with these, I can use the same paint water, even if it's a bit dirty. So I have Shimmer Orange, and it only lists PO64 as its pigment, but there's definitely like glitter and sparkles in there. And then this one is Green Glow, I think. Orange Shimmer, Green Glow. And the only pigment that's listed is PG8. So I will... It's not the most interesting surface to try this up, but I'm still gonna just swatch them on this piece of white paper, get a feel for them. Also, something with these the sparkly or the FX paints, sometimes you don't really see any effect until the paint has dried. Because of when it's wet, like the whole thing catches the light because it's wet, but you have to wait when it's dry. That's when the glitter only catches the light and you see a bit more of what's happening. Yes, this one is the least overtly impressive, but yeah, I feel like it's not impressive. The latest, like the last one we tried, the black mystery paint, not as impressive, but it feels very versatile. Like if you need to paint any kind of rocks, trees, texture, rust, any kind of grit, I feel like it's a very good starting point for a lot of these scenarios. Oh, that one looks interesting. Looks almost chunky. Oh, I love it. Okay, that's cool. I think that ideally I should let these like re-wet a bit, and then it would be easier to access all the glitter. Because there's definitely like little glitters in there that I can see. Oh, they're nice. Okay, I'm not mad I got them. They were a bit more expensive, but the orange shimmer one is PO64, so it's this kind of relatively flat orange, but the glitter component is a bit pinkish. So it's really interesting. And then the green is the richness of PG8, so that dark green. But then you have some green shimmer in it. Can't tell if it's green because it is green or if it's green because the paint is green, but either way, that's fun. I like it. What a bummer that PG8 is limited now. Oh, I don't know if you can see. Can you see just how sparkly colors are? I hope that's visible. Really cool. Kind of annoyed that these are twice the price of the other ones. Like, oh my gosh, come on. I want all of the sparklies, but yeah. The budget is not, like the wallet is not proving this plan. All right. Guess that's it for today. I will clean up my space. I could do a quick, and I have enough space for it. I could try and go over all the swatches of the Metamorphose colors. Space. Spice. Okay, so we started with the Brum. So morning Brum, evening forest, and mountain. And here, be able to be in frame. Somewhat. So morning Brum, evening Brum, forest Brum, mountain Brum. I feel like these two at the bottoms, they seem to be the most easy to use within these fours. These four. I don't know what you guys think, but depending, I feel like this one depends a lot on the scenery you're doing, and this one I don't know how I would use it, but it's really nice. Maybe that can be a dedicated video. Oh. For the all of these Metamorphose ones. I'll see about it. Definitely. They are very nice. I really like them. Where to put them? Those. It's some of these are not dry yet, so apologies for that. But so that's the dream ones. feel like the green is the easiest to use within these. Okay, I'll put it on my to-do list. I don't know exactly how that will shape up, but and painting with many of these in the same painting, I wonder how much of a a trip it would be. Gotta be trippy to have all of these effects like compound each other. It would probably like the as many as possible. Like that would to keep some sort of sense of unity to the painting. It would probably end up being like 2 or 3. Hello, mademoiselle. That's good. Cat has jumped on my back. So yeah. Hello, hello mon bébé. Ouais. So that might end with cat. Embrasse ma fille. Oh, il est gros câlin, salut. Salut bébé chat. Get up. Let me put this away, baby. And then I'll let you get on there. Do you want to go? Yali? Oui. Hello. Hello, mademoiselle. So, me and the kitty, we wish you all a good rest of your day. And I will move on to giving the kitty some pets. Wait, tu ronronnes? Oui. He's a baby. A baby. Wanna... Hi. Put. A crusty baby with allergy. Wanna say bye? Bye bye. Have a great day. Meow meow meow.